A man who is one of the toughest yet most high-profile jobs in the world is stepping aside. Joining me now is William J. Bratton, the Commissioner of the New York City Police Department. Why are you leaving us?
It's time.
It's You have been in public life for a long time in law enforcement. For 45 years, you've led the forces in Boston, Los Angeles, twice here in New York City. Widely credited with reducing crime in New York City, reforming the police department all across the country. Can you talk about the legacy that you leave behind? Are you comfortable with the hands that you're leaving New York City Police Department in?
I'm comfortable. I'm leaving this city at a good time for me personally and professionally. Professionally, the city crime situation, we just did a press conference today, the mayor and I, crime continues to go down to historic low levels, as it has for 25 years. The technology we brought into the department, there's nothing like it anywhere in American policing. The policies and procedures we've been putting into place, leading American policing also. So it's a good time for me to go along to new opportunities, and I'm looking forward to that.
Cities like Baltimore, Chicago, Ferguson, there are many people who are there. They say they're more afraid of police than they are of criminals, and then police also fear that doing their jobs could also get them in trouble and, you know, at the worst case, killed. What do you do to restore the trust in the community, in those communities? What advice can you offer those cities?
Well, it's a great question, because that is the challenge. How do we gain it where we've never had it? How do we improve it where we do have it? And how do we expand on it where we've always had it? Part of it is the idea of seeing each other. I used that expression at the funeral of one of our officers who was murdered during the Ferguson period of time. And the idea is to try to find common ground that we can get on and understand each other. In New York City, we have a major initiative that the mayor has supported and funded, the Neighborhood Policing Initiative. One of the reasons why my successor, Jimmy O'Neill, got the job is because he's putting that into place. He believes in it. And it is the idea of procedural justice, police legitimacy, understanding the issue of implicit bias. The New York City Police Department is probably further along in understanding all these issues, training for them, implementing them, than just about any other place in America. And it's part of the reason why our crime continues to go down, why the disturbances we have been much less than elsewhere in America. We're on a journey. We haven't arrived at a destination. We may never actually arrive at the destination, but we want to move forward, and that's half the battle. You have to admit that you need to change.
Let's talk about terror, because New York City, as you know, we had one of the biggest terror attacks ever, the 9/11 terror attack that we had to deal with here. ISIS, now we're dealing with ISIS. We're seeing attacks in cities like Paris, and then now ISIS telling its followers to strike in cities in the U.S. The president's saying today that, you know, ISIS is no longer trying for big 9/11 style attacks. They're saying smaller attacks. Are you confident that New York City is prepared for those types of attacks?
I certainly am. That we came into office, myself and John Miller, head of counterterrorism, in 2014, just as ISIS came onto the map. Al-Qaeda was all about the big attack. They pulled off 9/11 and wanted to pull it off again. ISIS, from its beginning, was really focused on using social media to inspire, to enable, in the sense of giving instructions through their social media, their magazine, or to direct, like the Paris attacks were directed by them. They're now understanding that they can really, through social media, inspire people to take an axe, take a car, take a gun. And they've found great results from that. And that's what's most fearsome about ISIS, their ability to inspire. It's a whole new world. Fortunately, in New York, we have a large amount of resources to focus on it. No American city has as much as we do. And we need to have as much as we do, because we remain the #1 terrorist target in the world.
You have seen a lot of politicians come and go, and in this job, you have to deal with the commander-in-chief.
Seen
right?
a lot of commissioners.
You can a lot of commissioners as well. But I have to talk to you about the current state of politics and Donald Trump, because he's in this city. Right. If he was a commander-in-chief as police commissioner, you would have to deal with him. Do you think he's qualified to be president?
I have concerns about Mr. Trump. I've referenced those, that I worry about his lack of compassion, as evidenced by the issue around the Gold Star parents, the failure to understand the importance of the Purple Heart. As a veteran, as a Vietnam War veteran, I just don't understand the veteran support for him, and the reaction to receiving a Purple Heart and his comments about it were just indicative to me that of an individual who doesn't understand a lot of what's so important about being a leader. And in terms of being president of the United States, a lot of it is having compassion for the fallen soldiers and their families. A lot of it is about understanding the importance and the history of what certain medals are given for. So the depth of his awareness and knowledge of the many issues that are important to be a leader in public life, and I've been one for public life now for over 40 years, I'm very concerned that the skills, compassion, expertise necessary for that, particularly for the most important job in the world, I really am concerned that he does not possess those.
I've heard you say he scares you. Why?
Scares me in the sense that the idea of, as the representative of this country to the rest of the world, that the rest of the world right now seems to be afraid of him. And the idea that we certainly want to be feared by enemies, but we don't want to be feared by friends. Mm-hmm. And when we start being feared by friends, then we've got problems. And right now, it's as evidenced by a lot of the news reports of other countries. And when I was in Italy, my wife and I had the opportunity to vacation there earlier this year. They were all asking about, what is it with this Mr. Trump, that there's a wariness and a fear of him in countries that we have been aligned with for years. So those are things we need to question as we go forward, that one man's opinion, not speaking as a police commissioner, but as an American citizen, proud to be an American citizen, a citizen that went to war for this country, something he did not. Again, the election's coming, so people get a chance to voice their concerns and comments. I'm comfortable voicing mine. It's one of the great things about living in America. You get to express an opinion.
That's right. Commissioner, thank you.
Thank you.
But don't
Pleasure.
go too far. We may need you.
No, now I get to walk around this great city and ride the subways again, and I'm looking forward to my time in the private sector.
Thank you for your service, Commissioner.
Thank you.
My name is Gary Johnson. Today I reach out to you, members of all political parties. I reach out to everyone with a vote and an axe to grind. From the Tea Party, the Constitution Party, the Green and Libertarian parties. I call out to all of you, including the disaffected and disillusioned among the Republicans and Democrats. Today there's a handful of people in Washington ruining America. This small group has presided over the elimination of our Bill of Rights and the systematic dismantling of our freedoms guaranteed us under our Constitution. Our leaders have blown it. I ask you to join me in trying something that's never been attempted before in America. Let's put our parties and our differences aside one time. Be libertarian with me for one election. Together, we'll stop the spending and end the war. Together, we'll restore our industrial might and our economy. And if in 4 years we as a people decide we don't like peace, prosperity, and freedom, we can always vote tyranny back into office again. America is better and brighter than this. Be libertarian with me this one time, and I'll prove it to you. Live free.